Picture this. It's Monday morning. You walk into your office like you have for the past 5 years. Same desk, same coffee, same routine. But today, your manager calls you into a meeting. She tells you the company just implemented a new AI system. Your job, the one you spent years training for, the one you've gotten good at, can now be done by software in 2 hours instead of 40. You're not being fired, you're being transitioned. They'll keep you on to supervise the AI. For now. But 5 of your colleagues who refuse to learn how the system works? They're gone. Effective immediately. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. This is happening right now, in offices across the world. And if you think your job is safe because you're creative, or skilled, or experienced, I have news for you. You're not competing against AI. You're competing against your coworker who just learned to use it. In March 2023, Goldman Sachs published a report that should have stopped the world. They estimated that 300 million jobs globally would be impacted by artificial intelligence. Not in some distant future, by 2030. Let that sink in. 300 million jobs. That's the equivalent of the entire workforce of the United States plus Europe combined. McKinsey went further. They said 30% of all current US jobs will be automated by 2030. 60% will have their tasks significantly modified, and 14% of workers globally, 375 million people, will be forced to change careers entirely. But here's what those headlines miss. The real story isn't about robots taking jobs, it's about something far more insidious. It's about the person sitting next to you who figured out how to do your job 10 times faster using AI while you were still doing it the old way. It's about companies that don't fire you. They just stop promoting you. They stop giving you raises. They start hiring people who cost half as much because they're AI fluent and you're not. The replacement already happened. You just haven't noticed yet. Let me tell you about Jennifer. She's 34. She's been a corporate accountant for 10 years. Good at her job, reliable, consistent. Last year, her company adopted an AI accounting system. The kind of work that used to take her 40 hours a week now takes the AI 2 hours. Jennifer panicked. She thought she was about to be replaced. But here's what actually happened. Jennifer spent 3 months learning how to work with the AI, how to prompt it correctly, how to catch its errors, how to supervise multiple AI instances doing the work of 5 people. She got promoted. She now manages a team of AIs doing the work that used to require 15 accountants. Her salary doubled. Her 5 colleagues who refused to learn, who insisted on doing things the right way, who complained that AI was just a fad. Every single one of them was let go within 6 months. This is the pattern emerging across industries. It's not AI replacing humans. It's humans with AI replacing humans without AI. The job market is about to undergo 3 waves of disruption, each one bigger than the last. Wave 1 is already here. It started in 2025 and it's accelerating through 2027. These are the obvious jobs. Customer service representatives replaced by chatbots that never sleep, never get tired, never have bad days. Data entry clerks made obsolete by AI that can process thousands of forms per second without errors. Basic translators replaced by real-time AI that handles 100 languages simultaneously. We're watching 50 million jobs transform in real time. If your job is primarily typing information from one system into another, it's already gone. You just might not know it yet. Wave 2 hits between 2027 and 2029. This is when it gets uncomfortable for people who thought they were safe because they have college degrees. Junior analysts who spend their days building Excel models? AI does it faster and catches the errors you miss. Junior lawyers who research case law? AI reads and synthesizes thousands of cases in seconds. Journalists writing routine news articles? AI generates them automatically from data feeds. Accountants preparing tax returns? The AI just needs someone to review its work, not do the work. This wave will affect 150 million workers. These are jobs that required years of training. Jobs that people thought were secure because they were knowledge work. Jobs that are about to discover that knowledge without judgment has become a commodity. Wave 3 is coming between 2029 and 2032. And this is the wave that terrifies even the optimists. Graphic designers replaced by AI that generates hundreds of concepts in minutes. Marketing strategists replaced by AI that analyzes billions of data points to predict consumer behavior. Software developers replaced by AI that writes, tests, and debugs code autonomously. Even managers replaced by AI that optimizes workflows and team performance better than humans ever could. 100 million jobs in the creative and strategic categories. The jobs we were told were safe because they required human intuition and creativity. Those jobs are learning that creativity can be algorithmic and intuition can be statistical. But here's where the story gets strange. Here's the part that nobody's talking about. In August 2025, MIT published a study that should have been headline news everywhere. They found that 95% of AI pilot programs in companies are failing. 95%. That means for every company successfully implementing AI, 19 others are wasting millions of dollars on systems that don't work, employees who don't adopt them, and processes that don't improve. So which is it? Is AI about to eliminate 300 million jobs, or is it failing 95% of the time? The answer is both. And that's what makes this moment so dangerous. You don't need every AI implementation to succeed. You just need to avoid being on the wrong side when a few critical ones do. Think about Netflix and Blockbuster. Netflix experimented with algorithms for recommendations. Most of their early AI experiments probably failed, but the ones that worked changed everything. Meanwhile, Blockbuster ignored the technology entirely. Blockbuster doesn't exist anymore. You're not competing against the average. You're competing against the outliers, and the outliers are already pulling ahead so far that catching up might become impossible. Here's what the data actually shows, buried in the McKinsey report that everyone cites, but nobody reads. 57% of current US work hours could theoretically be automated with today's technology. But here's the twist. 72% of human skills remain relevant even in highly automatable work. This is the part that changes everything. Jobs aren't disappearing, they're being redefined. McKinsey found that most jobs won't vanish completely. Instead, they'll split into 3 categories. First, tasks that AI does entirely on its own. Second, tasks where humans work alongside AI, each doing what they're best at. Third, tasks that only humans can do because they require empathy, creativity, or contextual judgment that machines can't replicate. Your job in 2030 will exist. But it won't look anything like your job today. The question isn't whether you'll be employed. It's whether you'll be doing the interesting, high-value work, or whether you'll be the human checking the AI's output for 8 hours a day. So what actually survives? What skills will matter when AI can do almost everything we currently pay people to do? The research is surprisingly consistent. There are 8 high-prevalence skills that appear across nearly every job and remain difficult for AI to replicate. Communication. Not writing emails. AI does that. But reading a room. Navigating complex interpersonal dynamics. Knowing when to push and when to back off. The kind of communication that requires understanding subtext and unspoken social cues. Leadership and management. Not task delegation. AI can optimize that. But inspiring people. Building trust. Navigating office politics. Making judgment calls when there's no clear right answer. Complex problem solving. Not solving problems with clear parameters. That's what AI excels at. But the messy problems where you don't even know what question to ask. Where the solution requires combining insights from completely different domains. Customer relations at the highest level. Not answering FAQs. Chatbots do that better. But handling the angry customer who's been through 3 levels of automated support. The negotiation that requires reading emotion and adapting in real time. Teaching and coaching. Not delivering information. AI can do that more efficiently. But understanding why a student isn't getting it. Adapting your explanation to their specific mental model. Building the confidence that makes someone willing to try and fail and try again. And here's the skill that's growing faster than any other. AI fluency itself. The ability to work effectively with AI systems. To know what they can and can't do. To prompt them effectively. To catch their mistakes. To combine their capabilities with human judgment. Job postings requiring AI fluency have increased 7 times in just 2 years. 7 times. That's faster growth than any other skill in history. But here's what keeps executives awake at night. Here's the thing they whisper about in private but won't say publicly. The people most at risk aren't the ones doing simple routine tasks. Those jobs are obvious. Everyone knows they're going away. The people most at risk are the 40 to 60-year-olds doing middle management and professional work. You're too expensive compared to a 25-year-old with AI fluency. You're too set in your ways compared to someone who grew up adapting to new technology every 6 months. You're too close to retirement for the company to invest in retraining you. And you're too young to actually retire. The data backs this up. The great resignation of recent years? It's about to become the great forced transition. And the people being transitioned out aren't going to be the low-wage workers. Those jobs were already precarious. It's going to be the accountants, the analysts, the middle managers, the professionals who thought they'd earned job security. This is the conversation nobody wants to have, but it's the one we need to have. There are 3 possible futures ahead of us. Which one we get depends on choices being made right now by companies, governments, and individuals. In the first future, the optimistic one, AI takes over all the boring, repetitive, soul-crushing parts of work. The data entry, the routine analysis, the endless meetings that could have been emails. Humans get to focus on the creative, strategic, interpersonal parts of work that actually matter. Productivity skyrockets. Working hours drop. The 4-day work week becomes standard because AI is doing half the work. Salaries increase because human judgment becomes more valuable, not less. New jobs emerge faster than old ones disappear, just like every previous technological revolution. In this future, we look back in 10 years and wonder why we were ever worried. Like people in 1920 worried that cars would eliminate all the blacksmith jobs. They did, but they created 10 times as many jobs building, selling, and servicing cars. In the second future, the dystopian one, 300 million people lose their jobs faster than they can retrain. The economic disruption makes 2008 look like a minor inconvenience. Because this isn't just about unemployment. It's about entire industries collapsing. Countries whose economies depend on outsourcing. India, the Philippines, Eastern Europe, watching their competitive advantage evaporate overnight. The gap between AI-fluent workers and everyone else becomes a chasm. Not just in income, but in employability. If you're on the wrong side of that divide at 45, you might never cross it. A generation of workers becomes permanently underemployed. Not because they're not willing to work, but because the skills they spent 20 years building became obsolete in 5. This future ends with massive social instability, with governments forced to implement universal basic income, not as a utopian experiment, but as an emergency measure to prevent collapse, with a permanent underclass of people who used to be middle class. But there's a third future, and it might be the most likely. In this future, the AI revolution is like the dot-com boom. 95% of implementations fail. The hype exceeds the reality. Most jobs change less dramatically than predicted. But 5% of implementations succeed spectacularly, and the gap between the companies that figure it out and the ones that don't becomes unsurvivable. Between the workers who adapted and the ones who didn't. In this future, we don't have mass unemployment. We have mass inequality. The rewards go to the people who were early adopters, who experimented when everyone else was skeptical, who built AI fluency when their colleagues were complaining about how the tools didn't work right. The gap isn't between employed and unemployed, it's between thriving and struggling, between people whose careers accelerate and people whose careers stall out, between companies that dominate their industries and companies that quietly fold. So what do you actually do, right now, today, to make sure you're on the right side of what's coming? If you're in your 20s or early 30s, you have time, but not as much as you think. Every month you wait is another month your competition is pulling ahead. Learn AI fluency immediately. Not as a side project, as your primary career skill. Stop thinking about what job you want. Start thinking about what skills you're building, because the job you're training for today might not exist by the time you're 40. But transferable skills, communication, problem-solving, adaptability, those will always matter. Change jobs frequently, every 2 to 3 years, not because you're flighty, but because the half-life of job-specific knowledge is collapsing. The company that's cutting edge today will be behind tomorrow. You need to be learning constantly, and the fastest way to learn is to change contexts. If you're in your 40s or 50s, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. You're in the highest risk category. You're expensive. You're set in your ways. You're close enough to retirement that companies won't invest in retraining you, but too far from retirement to actually stop working. You have 2 choices. Learn AI fluency right now, today, this week, or start planning your career transition before it's forced on you. Pivot toward work that's harder to automate, management that requires high-level human judgment, mentorship and teaching, relationship-driven sales. Anything where being older and more experienced is an advantage rather than a liability. And if you're in your teens or just starting your career, you have the biggest advantage and the biggest responsibility. Do not choose your career based on what jobs pay well in 2025. Choose based on what skills will still be valuable in 2040. Don't ask, what job should I get? Ask, what am I learning to do that a 25-year-old with perfect AI fluency won't be able to do better? Develop the skills AI can't replicate: emotional intelligence, complex interpersonal dynamics, creative problem-solving in ambiguous situations, physical skills that require adaptability. Build the human skills that machines don't have. But here's the thing that nobody wants to acknowledge. The thing that makes all of this so much harder than previous technological revolutions. This is happening fast, faster than anything in human history. The Industrial Revolution took a century to fully transform the economy. The computer revolution took 50 years. The internet took 25. The smartphone took 10. AI is transforming work in 5 years. Maybe less. When factories replaced artisans, the artisans' children could learn factory work. When computers replaced typists, the typists' children could learn programming. But when AI replaces knowledge workers faster than they can retrain, what happens to the workers? We're running an experiment on human adaptability at a scale we've never attempted before. We're betting that people can reinvent themselves fast enough to keep up with exponential technological change. We're assuming that new jobs will appear as fast as old ones disappear. Maybe that bet pays off. Maybe we look back in 20 years and laugh at how worried we were, the same way we laugh now at 1990s predictions that the internet would destroy society. Or maybe we look back and realize we were too slow, that we spent too long debating and not enough time preparing, that we waited for perfect solutions instead of implementing imperfect ones immediately. There's a quote from the science fiction writer William Gibson: "The future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed yet." 300 million jobs, 30% of the workforce, 14% forced to completely change careers. These aren't predictions. They're estimates of what's already in motion. The technology exists. The implementations are starting. The early adopters are pulling ahead. The only question is whether you're going to be an early adopter or someone left behind. Your job will look completely different in 5 years. Or it won't exist at all. Not because AI replaced you, but because someone who learned to work with AI did. The disruption isn't coming. It's here. Right now. Happening in offices and factories and hospitals and schools around the world. The question isn't whether you'll be affected, it's whether you'll see it coming in time to do something about it. 300 million jobs, 30% of the workforce, 5 years. The clock is already running.